Hi Libra, I hope you guys are doing great today. Welcome to your messages for the 8th through the 14th. I'm going to be talking about 4 main things that are going on this week and how it might be impacting you. I just feel like this is a week of negotiating what really matters to you, a week of negotiating with yourself, negotiating with somebody else about what really matters to you, because this week there's a lot of 9th house, 8th house and 6th house energy, and I'm going to talk about what that means going as we move forward in the video. But for those of you who are new, welcome. My name is Jackie. I do tarot mixed in with astrology, talking about transits. These are general messages. I don't know you personally. I don't know your personal chart and what's aspecting your personal planets. So I do speak to the general energies of the archetype. And I timestamp. I'm going to first be doing for a general reading. Normally I do where I do work and then love. I'm going to be doing a general for all areas, and I'm going to break it out into a separate love only read. I'm going to timestamp, leave that in the description box below for relationship. Also in the description box you're going to find a coupon code for my May special, which is my Synastry reads. And if you don't know what a Synastry read is, it's basically I take your birth chart, a partner's birth chart, I blend them together, I run a report, we talk about that, then I run your charts for what's going on right now, and we discuss what you guys might be dealing with right now. And I do a Celtic cross spread with the cards for each of you, depending on what's going on. All right, so let's get into your reading. Let's pull a couple of Wisdom of the Oracles first for the general. Unfinished Symphony. So this could have to do with a relationship, a job, a family situation, anything like that. Friendship situation. Enchanting Gifts. One more. And Milk and Honey. Okay, so really thinking about what matters with that Milk and Honey card, and that makes a lot of sense to me, because right now, let's just talk about the beginning of the week first. May 8th, Venus entering Gemini. Venus in Gemini is so curious, so sociable, chatty, communicative, very animated, very fun energy. You have this happening in your 9th house of higher education, your belief system, your moral code, your personal philosophy. But the 9th house is more than that. For you, because of how I'm seeing the planets aspect your 8th house and your 6th house as well, I feel like there's going to be a lot of negotiation going on. Lots of good stuff, great energy for those of you in a space where you're negotiating a contract, you're negotiating some sort of dissolution of a relationship where something's ending and you guys are figuring out what that's going to look like moving forward. There could be the same thing having to do with a business partnership, or even the bringing together of these things, okay? Like maybe you're getting engaged, you're getting married, you're moving forward with your life together, or you're deciding to end your life together, you know, as a couple, or even as a business partnership, or even some sort of family situation. Is that 9th house, it's marketing, it's advertising, but it's negotiating some sort of contract. And then because at the same time we also have the new moon on May 11th in Taurus happening in your 8th house of endings and beginnings, of it's all about regeneration, it's about transformation. It's debt, it's taxes, it's other people's money, it's inheritance, finalizing of any sort of contract. So in the 9th house is where we negotiate things, and in the 8th house is where we kind of wrap it up, and any monies that need to be paid are paid in that 8th house energy. So let's see what we have going on. And then to have the inflection of the 6th house, which really is, you know, these houses are several things all at once. 6th house, we're going to talk about this, but is your day-to-day work environment, your mental, physical, and emotional health, and just your day-to-day being. So you have some pretty big houses being hit this week, being lit up, okay? So let's talk about this. First of all, Unfinished Symphony, Exchanging Gifts, Milk and Honey. Yeah, this makes so much sense to me. So something is not finished yet. It needs to be wrapped up. Some sort of situation having to do with work, a relationship, a family situation, something like that. And there's going to be this exchanging of gifts. And that means coming to an understanding is really what this means. And milk and honey, think about what milk and honey are. They're comforts. They're what you need. They're things that make you feel cozy and warm. It's representative of home, right? It's comfort. There's something very safe and secure about these products together, right? We get the rainbow, the milk, the honey. Don't I feel warm and cozy kind of thing. But what do you need in order to feel that way? And that's going to be very much your focus this week, is thinking about what you need to feel very grounded, rooted, safe, secure, healthy, balanced moving forward, having to do with that relationship, that job, that situation, whatever it is. So I'm going to speak a little more as we go along, you know, really what these transits mean for you. But let's get into the Celtic cross spread, Nine of Pentacles. So Nine of Pentacles is very much an independent endeavor energy. So some of you may be deciding you want to break out on your own, you want to start your own business, you want to leave that relationship and do something independent, you know, maybe just be alone for a while, or just focus on yourself for a minute. But it could also mean finally meeting a healthy connection after doing a lot of solid work on yourself, because 9 is the number of productivity. So you can really apply this to your life, however, because this is really an integration of body, mind, and spirit. It's a Venus and Virgo energy, right? So we have this heavy Venus energy happening this week, with it being in Gemini. And Gemini, remember, we have a lot of air going on, right? This week we have Mercury is going to be going into the pre-retro shadow, and we have a lot of heavy Gemini energy. Gemini is an air sign just like you. So again, we have this all of this Venus and Gemini energy happening in your 9th house. So Venus loves to bring things to fruition. Venus wants us to feel balanced and feel good. Venus is a lot more than love. She's one of the money planets, and she's also the planet of self-respect, right? Where we're showing up and giving ourselves the self-care and respect that we need. So having this in Gemini, we're going to be very communicative about what we need. And you having this in your 9th house means you're going to be very energized, let's say, because the landlord of the 9th house is Sagittarius, which is a fire sign ruled by Jupiter. And this energy is just about luck, expansion, moving forward with integrity. So you're going to be pushed to be really honest with yourself this week, Libra. I mean, this is where it's starting. A lot of really cool energy is starting, right? That's the first thing, right? So a lot of focus on your needs, not in a selfish way or anything like that, just in a very practical and pragmatic way. Now, on the 11th, we have the new moon in Taurus. And this is going to be happening, like I said, in the 8th house. So for you, what does this mean? It's a new cycle. And this is a great time to commit to personal goals, really get in touch with what matters to you. Because remember, Taurus is ruled by Venus as well. Again, lots of Venusian energy. Really good time to slow down, get in touch with your body, get in touch with what it is that you need. You really need to concentrate on what you can do to increase your feeling of self-worth, and really to simplify your life in really key ways. Like, is there an area in your life where you just feel really upside down, Libra? You know, this is a really good time to kind of lean into that. Now, this new moon harmonizes with Neptune and Pluto, and this suggests your inspiration and determination supports your efforts to begin something new, a new cycle in your relationship, a new relationship, a new job, a new career, some sort of new venture with your family, or some new chapter. I mean, really, it can just resonate very different depending on your age and stage of life. But while the squares to Saturn and Jupiter are wide, they're really relevant, because this new moon is closely square the Jupiter-Saturn midpoint. So we can be dealing, all of us, with this desire to grow and expand and be more and do different, but also we're going to be dealing with limits and rules, right? Because of that Saturnian energy. And these things might take up a lot of energy, right? So we might need to watch for being like too lax or controlling, or working on getting this, you know, some kind of good balance, right? Up until this point. So what I like about this is a very potent energy to make important changes in your life. And because you're having this in your 8th house, which is about endings and beginnings, it's about death. It's about paying things off if you're in debt, taking care of your taxes, money coming in from some sort of settlement, insurance payout, you know, making a decision about who gets what, a divorce agreement, anything, you know, anything having to do with that. That's what it is. And if it's nothing like that, it's coming to a new understanding within your relationship regarding intimacy, regarding communication, regarding shared resources. So a lot of you are going to resonate with it like that. So it's really, really beautiful. Now, but you need to make some changes, as little or as big as they may be. In approximately 2 weeks' time after the full moon occurs, you should start seeing these things, right? And you are going to be feeling this again. So that's happening in your 8th house. Now, remember I said that Jupiter-Saturn midpoint, right? On the 13th, though, Jupiter is going to be entering Pisces, and this is happening in your 6th house. So we'll talk about in a second what that's going to mean for you. Let's get back to the spread here. We have the 10 of Pentacles, and it's being crossed by the moon. So the 10 of Pentacles can mean several things. Family, maturity, and this is the situation right now. A deepening of commitment and shared values, property, legacy, inheritance, anything sharing. Sharing, right? Really think about this 8th house. So it's the situation right now. And for some of you, this is even, let's get married card. Let's open a business together. But there's this idea that there are other people involved, or it's like a familial connection in some way. Or maturation of your money, something to do with that. But what's crossing it, what's challenging it are your feelings, your emotions, right? Now, if this has to do with a relationship, you might be really confused and maybe even disappointed, feeling really let down. And it's like you're experiencing this lack of trust that a relationship can work, and that ends up leading you and pushing you to make a decision about the relationship, right, with this moon energy. Now, if it has to do with career or money, you might achieve something, some goal, something that you were working towards, but ultimately feel like it wasn't even worth the effort. And everybody's emotions are running high. You might even feel the need to be rather defensive to protect yourself against someone's negativity. You know, even though money might be stable, but you want more satisfaction than just getting the paycheck. You want to be happy, Libra. And that's the thing. It's like this is an inescapable thing. Your moon rules your emotions, and your emotions are crossing this ability to have this 10 of coins right now with the situation the way it is, as it is right now currently. Something is telling you it's not right. Something. Your relationship might be fabulous. This maybe is your job. Maybe your relationship and your job are fabulous, and this has to do with some sort of inheritance thing or situation with your family. You know, or it's like maybe you're saying it's time to leave that marriage, that relationship, whatever it is, right? But it's an inescapable kind of thing is what I want you to understand here. So you're not losing your bird. You're not going crazy, right? If you feel so sort of like just pushed to the rim of something, it's because of what's going on in this 9th house energy. And it's not only the 9th house, it's the fact that we have that Jupiter and Pisces energy too, because this is happening in your 6th house, and the 6th house works with the 12th house of the subconscious. So in a word, this is what you may be feeling. Don't be surprised if you feel this. You've been feeling things underneath the surface. That's 12th house, subconscious, right? 12th house works with the 6th house. 6th house is your mental, physical, and emotional health. It's your day-to-day experience. It's your work. So you may be feeling like, I have to get out of that marriage. I have to get out of that relationship. If something doesn't change soon, I don't know if I could stay in it any longer. I have to get out of that job. I can't continue doing whatever this is the way I've been doing it for much longer. Change is needed. And you've been thinking a lot about these things, right? But being a Libra, part of your archetype is that sometimes you guys struggle with analysis paralysis. It's hard for, you know, a strong Libra to make up their mind all the time. And now it's because you can see several sides to many different things, right? But that subconscious is going to be pushing itself into your day-to-day. That's the best way for me to explain it to you. Right? And if you feel, because I see there's a lot of confusion here, and I see we have the 6 of Cups in the reverse. This is like living in the past. You may have some unrealistic expectations about how something is going to turn out. So it's really important to understand for you the Jupiter entering Pisces energy. Jupiter's been hanging out in there with Taurus, right? We've been talking about that. And that's in your 8th house. Not with Taurus, with Saturn rather. I apologize. Within your 8th house. Now, on the 13th, Jupiter is leaving Saturn for a few months, and it's going into your 6th house, right? So it was in that, yeah, it was in the 8th. Was it in the 8th house? Yes, it was in the 8th house. So this is how it's kind of working out for you here, is that it's going to end up being in this space for you where you're going to be full-blown thinking about, how can I explain this? What matters to you in your day-to-day? And the ramifications of Jupiter and Pisces, if you're open to it, is the idea that just when things seem hopeless and bleak, Jupiter comes in to help you out. But this has less to do with the good luck, which is typically Jupiter's thing, right? Jupiter's all about good luck. Jupiter in Pisces brings a deep faith and a benevolence in life and an openness and a willingness to understand, but it happens within. See, wherever Jupiter is, he's looking for the meaning in that house. Meaning of life in that house, the meaning of the truth in that house. And because you are having it in the 6th house, it's like, what do you really feel? What do you really want to do with your day-to-day? What do you really want to do for work? What do you really want to do with your animals? It's 6th house is animals too. What are you really feeling? And because it's working with that 12th house, it's again this inescapable thing, hopefully. The reason I'm saying that is because Pisces is not found, again, in that external reality, but instead within self. The thing is, you have to really rely on yourself in the choices that you are going to be making here. You have to listen to your intuition. Really important that you be very focused and grounded, and you're able to meditate and be still to figure out how things should be going for you right now. And that's the tricky part, as I'm very realistic in this stuff. Meditation is not easy for everyone. Being still is not easy for everyone, especially if you're a cardinal sign right now and you've been going through a lot of things. There are a lot of, I work with so many Libras, I know, divorces, deaths, illness, there's stuff, there's life. Life is challenging sometimes, and it's just so Pollyanna to say, oh, let me just chill. You know, unless you're very versed in it, then you could bring yourself to that space, but it's not easy. And the thing is, the personal truth that's seeking to come out in this house might be a little uncomfortable for you to actually execute. So what you may feel is this almost desperate running around in another direction, looking to feel better or for fulfillment. So it can incite reckless behavior, overindulgence in alcohol, drugs, shopping therapy, hypocrisy, theatrics, to kind of take the energy away from a particular situation, you know, some sort of like self-undoing kind of thing. I just want to throw the reality of this out there, because I know life is hard and it's not easy to just stop and say, okay, I'm a robot and I'm just going to like do A, B, and C. That's silly. Ultimately, this transit is really going to be pushing you to give of yourself and to embrace compassion and imagination regarding a situation that you would normally no longer consider. So you might need to tweak your lens a little bit in order to be very realistic. You have to be very, very, very realistic right now, because Pisces energy can be very smoke and mirrors because it's ruled by Neptune. I always say Neptune, the ruler of Pisces, is like trying to look at reality through a dirty window or a thick fog. You kind of can make out what's there, but not really. And the 7 of Cups indicates that here. We have choices and confusions. And this is the crowning energy, the best to be achieved out of this. This is commitment issues. Not sure of what's real and what's not, things feeling up in the air. But what I like and what you should focus on here is that this is definitely the beginning stages of something new for you. Very important that you really, so I can't express this enough, how strong I'm feeling this, for you to really tap into your instincts and your emotions right now. Really become water and try to be less air. Try to be the, like wherever there's, if you know your charts, try to tap into the water in your chart right now. So we have the 6 of Cups in reverse as the foundation right now. And this is about living in the past, being kind of naive about something, having unrealistic expectations regarding something moving forward. So you want to just be very honest with yourself about this. Now we have the King of Pentacles as you right now. So the King of Pentacles, this is somebody who wants to make the most out of something, right? And is really not going to have anyone looking to take what's his. Straight up. Hardworking person, generous person, really somebody who's like settled, who's fair, all of that. But if somebody's coming in and trying to take what's theirs in an unfair way, no, it's not going to go. And this is you right now. So really, like, good luck to anybody who's going to come in and try to be like, okay, I want the house in the divorce, or I'm not giving you half of whatever, or you don't deserve that whatever, that settlement, that payout, that whatever. You're not going to be having it because you know it's fair, right? You guys are the scales, right? You're the Justice card in tarot. You're all about what's fair, what's not, and you're going to be laser focused on that. With that, that's where the blessing of this ninth house energy is coming in to really work for you. Whatever you're negotiating and navigating through, you are all about what's fair, what's not, and you're not going to have anything any other way. Because you have reality set in. While I'm getting that you might be a little unrealistic about what things look like long term, short term, you're saying, all right, I might not know all the answers, but I'm figuring out what I need for my day-to-day existence. That's that sixth house energy. Jupiter and Pisces, and you know that needs to be really heavily addressed. Okay, that's where that milk and honey comes in. The unfinished symphony, that's right. Something needs to be looked at in a different perspective, maybe from a different angle, in order for you to get the outcome that you want, need, and desire, so that everybody's happy. Because really, your energy is all about a win-win situation. You're not looking to be unfair. You're really not. I'm not, you know. And then we have exchanging gifts. So exchanging gifts really is, I give you this, you give me that, right? It's really, it's about reciprocity. Now you have the Emperor energy and an external energy. So some of you may be dealing with an Aries energy, because Aries is the Emperor energy. This is also, though, this could also be a general energetic influence that's surrounding you, and you could be of the mind where you're like, look, I need to take control of my life, and I need to get up and do what I have to do. Now, the thing is, with the Emperor energy, you might not have all of the answers right now. The person you're dealing with might not have all of the answers right now, but the ideas are here. There's a lot of ideas popping for negotiation, for figuring things out, which is really good. Now we have the Nine of Cups, though, in your challenge. So when we get the Nine of Cups in the challenge, there could be this is a challenge for you. So you might be challenged by somebody's laziness. You might be challenged by somebody's greed. Somebody may be very greedy and you're finding it very challenging. Someone, you know, having to do with work. Maybe you're not getting paid what you're supposed to be getting paid, or some sort of settlement is not really what you ultimately wanted, or there's some sort of situation going on. Now, it could be with money, but it could also just be with connection. Somebody is being very stingy with connection. They're there 1 minute, then they're not. They're in, they're out, what's going on, kind of thing. And that could be very challenging for you and confusing. But we have the Star. This is very interesting to me. We have the Star and the Wheel of Fortune as these last two energies. So the Star, first of all, in numerology, has to do with the strength energy. And so that tells me that there needs to be some sort of balance before getting the gift of the Star. Because the Star really is about hope and guidance and a change for the better after a difficult time, which is great, because it does seem like there was some sort of testing that's going on here, but there needs to be some balance had. Now, having to do with relationship, you're destined to be with somebody. If you're not with somebody in a relationship, but you're resonating with this otherwise in a relationship, it's time for you to find that person, your person, that soulmate type of energy. Now, if this has to do just with work, this does indicate money luck, right? Work you do begins to pay off. You're considering long term, and that's the thing here. That's the thing. You're considering long term. That's okay if you're a little maybe naive about what the future holds. That's okay. That's fine. None of us really know anyway, just because of what's going on with Pisces right now. That's okay. But feel optimistic and positive that you're at least addressing what you know, what you want, need, and desire, that's being addressed, okay? So some of you might be guided to begin a new business. You might find out that you have a hidden talent that you could put to some use. The Star can also show awards and fame and just an increase in whatever it is that you're doing. So this is really good, but it seems like first, before that, there needs to be some balance had in some way. Something seems off kilter, off balance, and that needs to be addressed. Now, as the final energy here, we have the Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheel of Fortune is really good. This is a Sagittarius energy, Jupiter energy rather. Jupiter rules Sagittarius. So this is about fate and change, good luck, a turning point. taking a chance on something or in something. So if this has to do with career or money, this is good news coming in. Just make sure that you prioritize what's being asked of you and exercise integrity, right? You always want to do that around Sagittarius. Because remember, because it's Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, you want to make sure, right? Jupiter's always in a very tight dance with karma. So just make sure you're doing the right thing. Now, if this has to do with relationships, this could indicate for many of you an ex, love interest, partner coming back from the past. But you really need to think about that last go around. You know, do you think the connection was good enough then to work out this time? If so, awesome. If not, I always say, if you know in your gut that it wasn't working, that you were dealing with like a narcissist or whatever, it's going to be like trying to fit a circle in a square. It just is. But there's something unfinished about something. So if you're resonating with this about relationship, something needs to be tied up. Whether it's you tie things up and you go separate ways, you tie things up and you get back together. Something like that. There's a lot of destiny at play here. You're going to be working really hard and it's going to be really annoying, but don't give up, because this is a really good patience pays off, right? You're almost there. We have the Chariot is all about leaving toxicity and then things expediting after it. We have to look at the cards surrounding this. So yeah, you're going to be going towards more positivity. Then we have the Queen of Wands. This is stepping into your power. Really beautiful. Ideas popping. You feeling very strong. Relationships being energized. There's something very passionate happening in your life here. Something. I don't know if it's a relationship. I don't know if it's a job, something, but something is crystallizing. If this has to do with relationship or even a family connection or friendship, deepening of communication and better understanding of each other's needs through really good communication. As the Magician is Mercury. Mercury is Gemini and Virgo, right? Mercury rules those two signs. So Gemini being communication and Virgo's about solving problems. You're all about solving problems with that 6th house energy as well. Everything I'm saying for your 6th house, right? Everything I'm saying here for it, all of it applies to that as well. Problem-solving energy. And then we have the Queen of Cups. Really nice energy. Again, more Gemini energy. So in astrology, this is Gemini and Cancer. So this is a communication about you, what you want, need, and desire to feel safe and secure in your life in general. Okay, so for some of you, if this has to do with relationship, this is falling in love, deepening of love, emotional honesty about what's needed to make something work. You being really honest about what you need having to do with money. And just as far as connection goes, let's pull a final. Justice. We got you as the final card. Perfect. Beautiful. Scales being balanced out. A win-win situation being had. So I just feel like whatever happens here, because it looks like stuff's going to be going on, it's going to be fair. Things are going to end up being fair, even though I know they haven't been feeling fair. Well, I'm feeling that anyway. Things haven't been feeling fair. Okay. So let's go into relationship for our Libra friends. So the last thing on the 14th, Mercury enters pre-retrograde shadow. So Mercury is going to just be in Gemini for the longest time. It's going to be like 2 months, which is really long. You know, usually it's just for several weeks. But Mercury went into Gemini on May 3rd. Is going to be in there until July 7th. But in the middle of all that, Mercury is going to go retrograde. Not a big deal. Mercury's retrograde half the flipping time. I always say, you know, it's just about slowing down. Right? Slowing down, doing things a little more slowly. Choose the path and direction that you want to take extra carefully. Just reconsidering things is going to be in order, especially because you have it in your 9th house. So you might be rethinking some sort of negotiation, rethinking something to do with school if you're in higher education, rethinking your belief system, rethinking how you think and feel about something. Home, the soul, dreams, and healing. Yeah. Libra, I'm just feeling like you're very hungry for knowledge right now. Right? Very inquisitive about life, very inquisitive about things. It's gonna be a lot of communication. Just very You're really going to be very open to talking about, if you've been putting off negotiating something in the relationship, Mercury retrograde, I know a lot of people say it's terrible for all things Gemini. And Gemini rules, because Mercury rules Gemini, right? It's at home there. So we have a lot of stuff going on, and you're an air sign as well. There's a lot of communication energy. And I know a lot of people say, oh, you know, don't do A, B, and C during Mercury retrograde. You shouldn't start brand new things, right? But it's a great time to go back and revisit things that have begun already. So especially in relationship, I think Mercury retrograde is excellent to sit down, and just as long as you're doing it with mindfulness, you sit down and you're revisiting things and you're going over things. The thing is with Mercury retrograde, things can be said or offered that where we feel like we don't have all the information. That's where it can get tricky. So it's the less that we shouldn't buy new things or sign contracts. Well, that we just have to be prepared that once Mercury goes direct, we might end up finding things out that we weren't expecting, right? But I feel like if you go into it with a very open heart and open mind and groundedness, knowing that's what Mercury retrograde is, and you seek clarity, I think it's an excellent time to just figure things out one way or the other. He's very anxious right now, though. I'm very depressed. Nine of Swords coming into this. Yeah, anxiety, overwhelm, worry, trouble sleeping. I always call this the 3 a.m. card. Some of you might be struggling with some depression right now, just simply not responding well to the external stress because your way out of something may not be clear. We have the Hierophant energy in the second. It may be about in the center here. This is the situation right now. So the anxiety and depression may be about your marriage, your relationship, a divorce, the idea of getting married or the idea of not getting married. This could also have to do with expectations of a relationship and the need to conform in or to a relationship. That's like the topic here, right? As this situation right now, and it's being crossed by the sun. And the sun is always very positive. But as the cross, this can indicate some sort of delay in something. You might even be depressed here about your marriage because it's crossing. So there could be some delay in something, some sort of depression about your marriage, about the connection right now. And it could have something to do with the fact that either you want to walk away, you did walk away, you've emotionally checked out, or somebody else has, right? Because the Eight of Cups is departure, change. It's having that high EQ, though, I always call it the emotional intelligence, to recognize that something doesn't feel right. And it's time to move on. And it's like, the energy here is of sadness but no regret. I feel like you tried at something, but it's just like to a point. Do you know what I'm saying? And you're just recognizing it's time to really honor yourself, and not in any way a selfish way or malicious way. I'm not even getting that. It's just this recognition that it's time to move away from something. It's time to heal. You feel this hole in your soul. If you continue to stay in this situation, you know down the road you're going to be kicking yourself in the ass down the road. You're looking at that 5-year plan, that 10-year plan, and saying, oh, I need to go after my dreams. And I feel like in relationship, maybe this isn't it, right? It seems like that's what's going on in your mental space here. Now, how you're responding to this is going to vary because we have the Devil as the foundation. So some of you may be very happy in a situation and you're actually already with someone else. Others of you may be in a situation where you're really struggling to find balance about your partner leaving or you leaving. There's balance where there's this challenge, there's this shackling that's being dealt with here. The Devil can mean several things. It could mean addiction to alcohol, drugs, sex, money, anxiety, depression, gambling, anything like that. It could also be the energy of narcissistic behavior, and it could also be the energy of having an affair, of infidelity. All of these things indicate a kind of imbalance that ends up shackling the relationship in an unhealthy way. And right now, that is the foundation that we're getting here. And you just want to go off into the flippin' sunset with somebody in a really like just like grounded way. Mars and Capricorn, this is where you're at. You're all about, you want to collaborate with somebody and build a life. You want a successful relationship. You want to have a home. You just want to be happy. And for some reason, that's not happening in whatever situation either you were in, whether somebody else ended it, and you feel this hole in the soul. I feel like you're feeling whether you ended the relationship or not. And that's just the way it is a lot of the times, right? Don't you? I mean, it's like even when we end things, sometimes we're like, oh my God, like I ended it, but I really was so in love with this person at one time. So now I need to mourn the fairy tale being over, like to some degree, you know? Not easy, even when we end it. We have the Ace of Swords in reverse is the external energy that's influencing you right now. So this is stress, this is mental blocks. You may be, I feel like this is your partner though. I feel like your partner may be struggling here with something. You're dealing with somebody who's making some poor judgment calls, somebody who's not being very honest. Where you're just sitting there looking at them going like, what are you doing, kind of thing. And that's the trick, that's the tricky part here, is that I feel like, obviously this is not going to resonate with everybody. I feel like this is a very intimate message for somebody, I could say. But it almost feels like if you had your wish, if you could go into some sort of like magic vat and press something and have your partner be not how they are. And I know that sounds kind of ridiculous because we can't project onto other people what we want them to be, even though we all do it all the time anyway, because it's part of the human condition. But, you know, if only they wouldn't, if only they did, if only right? That if you could do that, you would probably do that because your life would probably be a lot easier, because it seems like the energy that I'm getting is you really want something to work, but you know it's just not working and you can't not see it anymore. And so you really kind of looking out for yourself and recognize, but it does seem like this person that you're dealing with is having a hard time. Okay, that's for a lot of you. I feel like for many of you. Others of you, if you're sort of dealing with this newer energy, there might be something going on with their mental faculties. Like they might struggle with some sort of you know, personality disorder or some sort of mental imbalance, some sort of challenge to handle some sort of anxiety or stress. Okay, so you might be dealing with that kind of energy as well. Some of you may be doing that. Now we have the Eight of Pentacles. And this is in your challenge. So the Eight of Pentacles is, again, about this, because we got this in the first spread. No, we got the Nine of Pentacles, right? I think in that first one. The Eight of Pentacles is about mastery, and it's about really trying to figure something out. So that's your challenge, though. You're having a really hard time doing that. You're having a really hard time doing that. And there's a lack of focus. And there's a lack of ambition to actually move forward on something. It's almost like you're feeling this kind of analysis paralysis. You know you have to do something, but you're struggling to do it with this in your challenge position. You're having a really hard time getting in front of something because you're confused. We have the Two of Pentacles here. And this is a really nice card. I mean, it's making plans, it's moving forward, it's about partnership, right? But there are two aspects to a situation. You have to figure out which one is best for you. One person over the other, be alone or be with this person. There could be two aspects within the relationship as well. Should we get married? Should we not? Should we have a baby? Should we not? Should we, you know, and it's this kind of thing. But there's definitely this at least attachment, separation, at least mental. There's something going on here, Libra. If you're resonating, if this is your reading, there's some sort of issue going on in your relationship where you at least feel very emotionally far away from each other, if not sort of on the brink of breaking up or just breaking up. But that Eight of Cups, a lot of times it manifests more mentally than in reality first. So it's like you know that you need to pull yourself out of something. And there's confusion here. And what's the final outcome card? We have the Ten of Pentacles. Will you look at this? This is so funny. What the hell is going on here? Because this is family and deepening of commitment and shared values and property and inheritance and commitment and, you know, a lot of like yay energy, right? It's this maturation of things. Let's pull some clarifiers so we can understand this. We have the Knight of Cups. We have the Moon, so there's been some disappointment. Then we have communication coming in that's really good. The Queen of Wands, the Knight of Wands. Hello. Ace of Cups. All right, listen. Someone is coming in and offering something, Libra. I don't know if it's this person, if it's somebody new, but it's a Knight, the Knight of Cups energy. This is the thing. Just be a little careful. I won't, because, again, just because I'm watching out for you, right, with the Knight of Cups, really beautiful energy. It is. You want to be, you're very open to real love, be open to real love, all of that. If this is a person, though, this person might be very idealistic right now, almost saying everything that you want to hear, but they might be stuck behind a false persona. And you just want to make sure that they're able to drop the act. And look, this is not to say anything negative about them. They may just be really wanting to fix the relationship or be with you in the first place. You just want to make sure that they can drop the act, right? So that you can see who they really are. So just take your time with anything that seems too good to be true. If somebody comes in and says, I have it figured out, I saw the error of my ways, or let's do this, I will take care of everything, just be like, okay, slow down a little bit. Not that I don't believe you, but let's just like see what's going on, because they might just be getting very wrapped up in their emotions, because it's a cup energy. You know, you say, okay, somebody's got to have 2 feet on the ground. But there's going to be a lot of really good communication with someone here. Six of Wands is very nice. Feelings are shared. They're well received. There's positive communication, deepening of connection. Really good. Then we have Queen of Wands. Yes, step into your power. Ideas popping here, so you're going to be able to figure things out, having to do, because Wands are will, and it's passion and it's motivation. It's like, yeah, we're going to move forward, we're going to do this, you know, this is how we're going to do it, and all of that. And then we have the Knight of Wands energy. So the Knight of Wands energy is things speeding up, blocks being lifted, decisions coming in that you've been waiting on, maybe that you've even been feeling like, I have to make this decision, okay, I'm going to make it already, that's it, I'm going to do it. And I feel like a lot of you are going to be in that space, particularly because of how Gemini is aspecting you right now. But we have a brand new beginning in emotions out of all of this. So this is like a brand new beginning somewhere. Brand new beginning in a relationship. Ace normally means brand spanking new. This is like a new endeavor, right? Love, fertility, pregnancy, falling in love. If this happens to be an existing relationship resonating with you, strong love and support. But like brand new start, brand new start. So you're going to know best how this is resonating with you. You're going to know, because you are feeling this emptiness. But there's an energy here that wants to fill it. So let's see how that ends up going for you. Let's just pull a couple of Island Time Wellness and see what comes out for that. Okay. Okay, card, you just wanted to pop out. Girl with a snake. Empath and narcissist paradigm. Enable boundaries. Okay. So, I don't know, Libra. You might be dealing with the narcissistic tendency energy. Always so careful to not diagnosing anybody. But, you know, somebody who's just sort of like really unfair. They deflect a lot. Lots of gaslighting. Unhealthy stuff. All right. So we have, okay, so the narcissist wants to talk to you. And you're like, yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think so. The coffee cup energy. Because this is meeting up, conversing, savoring the moment, right? But then we have the mask energy. So you might be just going along and saying, yeah, okay, you know, feeling one way on the outside, being another way, you know, one way on the inside, being another way on the outside. Because at the end of the day, you're frustrated in this relationship. It's a lack of confidence here. There's a lack of confidence. Frustration in relationship. There's a lot of fear. There's ego involved here. Not necessarily yours. It could be somebody else. You guys are really not known for being very ego focused. Now, I don't know who you are, and I don't know where, you know, maybe like Leo or Sag or Aries are in your chart. But, you know, typically, Libras are not known for that. So we have talking, interested, conversing more, a awaited message arrives. So somebody's reaching out to you and you're finding something out. There's some sort of information is going to be exchanged here. And it's like just what's necessary to move this situation along for good or bad. But I see date here, meeting someone new, dating, getting back out there. Final card, we have the Phoenix. New phase, rekindle, renew, transformation, growth, changed mind. So look, this is rising from the ashes. So this could certainly be, again, completely revamping the relationship or somebody brand new. I don't see an energy to be anywhere in between. So if you know in your gut that you're dealing with somebody who can't see the error of their ways, who are not on board with getting really open and honest about the relationship, I see you meeting somebody new and not even messing with somebody who can't look at themselves in an honest way. I can't, because I know you can, because you're watching my channel. And if you watch tarot and astrology, you're very open to looking at your stuff. So that's what I see. So that's what I have for you, my friends. I hope this was helpful for you in some way. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I'll see you guys next week. Take care. Bye-bye.